Forget high-tech garages and diagnostic computers. What you're about to witness is a masterclass in mechanical intuition and raw engineering. Faced with a complete failure in this aging Kubota L1501, our engineer begins her diagnosis. The problem is clearly more complex than a simple tire issue. It's a critical failure in the wheel assembly. Her first challenge, overcoming decades of rust and seizing on these lug nuts with only basic hand tools. With the bolts loosened, she now faces the immense static friction holding the wheel to the hub. This is brilliant improvisation. Lacking a hydraulic jack, she applies the fundamental principle of leverage using a simple rock. With the wheel assembly now accessible, the true repair work can begin. A small hydraulic jack is now employed. This provides far greater control and safety for the reinstallation. Aligning the heavy wheel assembly requires precision and significant physical strength. She carefully torques the lug nuts in a star pattern to ensure even pressure against the hub. The final check. She confirms the wheel is secure and spins true with no wobble or play. Success! The tractor is mobile once again, a testament to her skill. She tests the machine under its own power, listening for any telltale sounds of mechanical stress. This is a deep dive into the diesel engine, a complex system of precisely timed combustion. The meticulous process of reassembly begins. Every component must be perfectly placed and secured. Her workshop is wherever the work is needed, often with only the bare essentials at her disposal. Now adding coolant. An overheating engine can lead to catastrophic failure like a warped cylinder head. In complex repairs, even a master technician consults technical diagrams to ensure accuracy. She makes a fine adjustment to what appears to be the fuel injector pump. This level of focus is required when working with components that have tolerances measured in thousandths of an inch. A look at the engine block itself, a testament to decades of hard labor and rudimentary field repairs. The work continues, demonstrating incredible patience and stamina. She works on the engine head bolts, which must be tightened in a specific sequence to prevent warping. The methodical process of restoration continues, piece by piece. This diesel engine is a purely mechanical system. There are no electronic control units to simplify the diagnosis. Attention to detail is paramount. A single loose bolt could lead to a disastrous failure. Each part is cleaned and inspected before being returned to its place. She's now reinstalling the radiator, connecting the coolant hoses that are vital to prevent overheating. After hours of painstaking work, the moment of truth is near. Her work is not limited to a single machine. Her skills are in constant demand. She prepares for the next project, laying out her tools with the quiet confidence of a seasoned professional. The engine turns over. The small oil spots indicate a successful pressure buildup within the system. But her day is far from over. Another vehicle requires her attention, this time for a wheel and bearing issue. She works on the axle assembly, a critical load-bearing part of the vehicle's chassis. Reinstalling the wheel, she once again applies her knowledge of proper torque and assembly procedures. It appears she is now working on the tractor's power takeoff, or PTO shaft, which powers external implements. She conducts a thorough inspection, looking for signs of wear, metal fatigue, or hydraulic leaks. Her hands, though adept with heavy tools, show remarkable dexterity with smaller components. Another check. In engineering, the principle of measure twice, cut once is a rule to live by. A final walk-around inspection is standard procedure for any professional before clearing a machine for operation. Cleaning components is not just for aesthetics. It helps in identifying cracks, leaks, or other potential failures. Final adjustments are made to ensure optimal performance. Her satisfaction comes from knowing the job was done right, ensuring the machine's reliability. Now, removing the radiator. This could be for a deep cleaning of the cooling fins or to repair a leak. The final look of approval. This machine is ready to return to service. She adjusts the timing, a critical procedure that synchronizes the pistons with the valves. Now, working on the wheel hub, likely repacking the bearings with grease to ensure smooth operation. Back at her home base, the meticulous reassembly of the engine continues. She works on the rear axle and differential, the system that transmits power to the wheels. Every surface of the engine block is cleaned and prepared. She now reinstalls the cylinder head, a crucial step in the engine rebuild. The battery is connected. The electrical system is the nervous system of the machine. Here, she is calibrating the fuel injectors, which atomize diesel fuel for efficient combustion. Adjusting the valve lash. Even a tiny error here can result in poor performance or engine damage. The rocker arm assembly is installed, the final major component of the valve train. The cooling fan is attached. Without it, the engine would rapidly self-destruct from heat. The engine runs smoothly. A successful rebuild. She performs post-start checks, listening for any irregularities and looking for leaks. Every bolt and connection is double-checked. Her senses are her primary diagnostic tools, listening, looking, and feeling for vibrations. But the challenges are not just mechanical. Sometimes they are environmental. Now, a true test of grit, vehicle recovery from a stream using pure manpower. The saturated soil and the weight of the machine make this an immense physical challenge. She uses a lever to try and pivot the heavy machinery out of the water's grip. With the machine recovered, the real work begins, assessing the water damage. Water in an engine is catastrophic. She immediately begins a full teardown. The engine must be completely flushed of contaminated fluids and debris. Every single component must be meticulously cleaned and inspected for water damage or corrosion. She drains the oil, which is certainly contaminated with water, rendering it useless. The precise work of reassembly. This is a race against time before corrosion can set in. The entire engine is being rebuilt on a tarp on the ground, a truly remarkable feat of field engineering. She inspects the pistons and cylinders, the core of the internal combustion engine. The battery is reconnected, a sign that the mechanical reassembly is nearing completion. The final stages of the engine rebuild. Applying the final torque to a critical bolt. A thorough final inspection of her work before attempting to start the engine. She has salvaged this machine from what most would consider a total loss. Her confidence is evident, built upon years of experience and success. The first start after being submerged. The puff of smoke is from residual moisture and oil burning off. The engine is running. An incredible achievement. The smile of satisfaction. She has conquered the challenge. But a new day brings a new and perhaps more dangerous challenge. A vehicle has overturned on a treacherous road. This is no longer just a repair. It's a rescue operation. They struggle to open the doors, which may be jammed from the chassis being twisted in the accident. Extracting someone from an unstable vehicle is an incredibly hazardous procedure. With the occupant safe, the vehicle recovery begins. They attempt to right the car manually. Realizing the danger and difficulty, a call for more assistance is made while they secure the vehicle. With the car recovered, her work as a mechanic begins. She opens the hood to assess the damage. She begins a systematic inspection to diagnose all the faults caused by the accident. Her first action is to address a potential electrical short by disconnecting a component. The oil filter is removed. This will be replaced to ensure the new oil stays clean. The repair is extensive, requiring a deep dive into the engine's core systems. The focus is on the fuel pump. It may have been damaged or starved of fuel during the rollover. A close-up of her working on the fuel sending unit, located inside the fuel tank. This is a delicate and dangerous task as she is working with highly flammable gasoline vapors. Patience and precision are essential to avoid causing a spark. The final stages of the repair. She has addressed the electrical, oil, and fuel systems. She carefully extracts the old pump, a component vital for delivering fuel to the engine. She meticulously cleans the assembly before installing the new or repaired pump. A moment of intense concentration as she inspects the small, delicate parts. Back inside the car, she disconnects the fuel lines from the top of the tank assembly. She carefully removes the trim to gain full access to the fuel tank service port. Returning to the engine bay, she continues her systematic process of elimination. Her diagnostic approach is methodical, checking each system to ensure nothing was missed. An overview of the engine. A complex web of mechanical and electrical systems that must work in harmony. She tightens a hose clamp, ensuring there are no fuel or vacuum leaks. The cleaned and serviced fuel pump ready for reinstallation. She carefully lowers the pump back into the fuel tank and reconnects the lines. Back in the engine bay, the final components are reinstalled. Precision is key. A misaligned part could cause a cascade of failures. She inspects the electrical connectors, ensuring a solid contact for every sensor and actuator. The final cleanup and reassembly of the engine bay. She reinstalls the air intake system, the final piece of the puzzle. One last comprehensive check of all her work before the moment of truth. She turns the key, the engine cranks and fires up. An astounding success. The look of relief and pride. She has resurrected a vehicle that was in a wreck just hours before. Her work continues. Every day brings a new mechanical puzzle to solve. This car, like many she works on, is a lifeline for its owner in this rural area. She organizes her mobile workshop, ready for whatever challenge comes next. The quiet roads of her village are where these machines are put to the test. And sometimes the environment presents the greatest challenge of all. A motorcycle completely swamped in mud. A moment of rest after the exhausting work of pulling the bike from the mire. Back at the workshop, the decontamination and repair process is about to begin. She immediately begins by draining the oil, which is heavily contaminated with muddy water. A full engine teardown is the only way to save this machine. The dark, gritty fluid is a mixture of oil, water, and earth, a death sentence for an engine if not removed. The engine is disassembled piece by piece. The exhaust pipe is removed, likely full of water that could cause a catastrophic hydrolock. She inspects and clears the exhaust system of all obstructions. The painstaking reassembly begins, using cleaned and salvaged parts. She works on the clutch assembly, which must be perfectly clean to operate correctly. Every component is carefully torqued to specification. Her methodical work ensures the engine will be as reliable as it was before the incident. The final parts are cleaned and installed. The motorcycle is whole once more. Another machine brought back from the brink. The inner workings of a motorcycle engine, a close-up of the transmission gears and clutch assembly. Another day, another full engine rebuild. This is a complete teardown, down to the crankcase. Here we see the crankshaft and transmission gears, the very heart of the powertrain. The complexity of this job cannot be overstated. Hundreds of small parts must be tracked and reassembled perfectly. The engine case is split, a procedure that even many professional mechanics avoid. She carefully separates the two halves of the crankcase. This allows her to access and replace the main crankshaft bearings. She reassembles the clutch plates, which must be soaked in oil before installation. The sun beats down, but her focus is unwavering. Her outdoor workshop is a testament to her adaptability and resourcefulness. Working on the cylinder head, likely lapping the valves to ensure a perfect seal. The engine begins to take shape once more. She continues the rebuild with the same patience she had at the start. Each part is a small victory in the larger battle to bring the machine back to life. Slowly and steadily, the complex machine is reborn from a collection of parts on the ground. The work is physically demanding and mentally exhausting. Even the local wildlife seems captivated by her work. This is more than a job. It is a passion for machinery and problem solving. With one project complete, another challenge immediately awaits her skilled hands. For this master of mechanics, there is always another engine to save, another machine to resurrect. A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel at LiveEye29 for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoyed this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.